Mike Gallagher.
We don't have a lot of guests on the Mike Gallagher Show, but the ones we have are pretty big time. And I've been trying to get Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna for a long time. And so we see her coming down the hall, we grab her, we kidnap her, we bring you over here, Congresswoman. But here's the rule. If Charlie Kirk comes by...
I know, I'm getting bumped.
You're out.
I'll agree to give up my seat, only for Charlie.
Only for Charlie. He's the only one. Congresswoman, it is great to see you here.
Thank you for having me on.
My pleasure. You're serving your second term. You represent Florida's 13th Congressional District, but we couldn't help talking about New York City.
I know.
And the state of affairs for today's Democrat Party. You're a warrior. You've always been committed to fighting for conservatism. You're fighting the good fight. You're as sad as I am about the prospect of New York burning with Mayor Zohran Mamdani.
Well, it's interesting because right now you saw that New York, even just in the last couple of years, I mean, the crime has skyrocketed, and then you're seeing the policies that this guy is, advocating for, police-free zones, all of that. What I will say is that there's some great people in New York. A lot of them actually end up moving to my district here in Florida.
That's right.
It's just funny. I was wearing a Yankees hat. Well, I was wearing a Yankees hat. My husband's like, "Why aren't you wearing the Rays?" I was like, "Well, I wear a Rays hat too." But there's a lot of New Yorkers, so I make them feel at home, right? The thing is that, those policies have direct impact, but the reason why he won is because of the youth vote. And so right. I always tell people this is why Turning Point Student Action Summit is so important, because you have a lot of young people here and you're able to share the messaging. Because remember, the youth vote is the future, and we have to make sure that we're not forgetting them when we're talking about politics.
It feels like an event like this here in Tampa Bay is the antidote to a bunch of young kids waving pro-Hamas flags, doesn't it?
Well, it's not even just that. It's a lot of young kids that are attending now these riots holding Mexican flags.
Right.
What I will tell you is that, they're treating Hispanic Americans the way that they treated Black Americans under BLM, except they've just inserted a Mexican flag and a new tagline on immigration. But it's really still being funded by individuals like Neville Singham, who is a billionaire communist tied to the CCP. So you follow the money trail. The CCP is the ones that are trying to divide us.
That's exactly right. Well, there's a lot of division right now. When I see law enforcement get shot upon like they were yesterday in Camarillo, California, you had this ICE raid. It's like, Congresswoman, it feels like good is portrayed as evil, evil's portrayed as good.
Well, and they don't want to talk about the ICE raid. There was actually, now I'm hearing migrant women and children. Why are children working on a weed farm? Are we going to have that discussion? Congress has the ability to increase the penalties on these corporations and businesses that are engaging in hiring slave labor. They're not the only ones. The weed farm's not the only one. Purdue and Tyson Chicken Farm actually were busted and under investigation, I think, by the Department of Labor for doing the same thing. And it's egregious. Any parent, I don't care if you're a Democrat, Republican, or Independent, that's pretty common sense. You don't want kids working on a farm.
I'm asking our listeners today, do you feel, at an event like this, do you feel confident and optimistic? Do you feel negative? How do you feel?
I feel optimistic. I talked to a big group of young conservatives, and, they look to people, especially people like myself, because I am younger, about how to get involved in politics, what they want to do in the future. What did I do? I started out at Turning Point. How did I make my way into Congress? And what I will say is that, hard work and effort, only in the United States of America can someone with my background make it to the halls of Congress. So it's an honor and privilege.
And it's a story that a lot of us follow. That's why I wanted to meet you in person, because you were inspirational for a lot of people. Because a lot of people said, if she can do it, anybody can.
Yeah.
Do you hear that?
Yep, I do. And also, too, though, I don't let, my position get to my head. I still door knock every election cycle. I door knocked, and between last election cycle and this election cycle, me and my team of about 5 people and volunteers door knocked 60,000 doors and made 110,000 phone calls. So I'm not going anywhere unless I want to.
As a former New Yorker, now Floridian, and I'm so glad to be in this free and fair state.
No, we're happy to have your vote.
Well, you got it. I'll vote multiple times if I could. But
no, don't do that. We don't want fraud elections.
No, we don't. But Congresswoman, if the country ran the way Florida did, the way your district did.
Well, we're making America Florida. You're seeing that out of the White House.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, but it is true though, and you got to give a lot of credit to Governor DeSantis for that. Correct?
Yeah, he's been doing great, especially on election reform. We actually had people that went to jail for engaging in voter fraud in the 2020 election, for sure, somewhere in between then. So, it's not perfect, but it's literally the ideal form of elections in the country.
Let me close on a controversial note. I got to ask you this because you're a warrior and you got sharp elbows, and there's supposedly this big rift right now within MAGA. Are we upset about Epstein? Are we not upset about Epstein? President Trump seems to want to move on. What's the Anna Paulina Luna take on the Epstein
I would
files?
say that the best way to restore trust is through transparency, and that there's information that can be released that doesn't implicate children or victims, and that they should do that. And I have exhausted all my tools as an investigator to try to do that. So it's ultimately up to the DOJ. It's not up to the FBI. It's up to the DOJ. So I'm going to be asking for them to release information not pertaining to those above subjects. Because I think the American people need to decide for themselves.
A lot of criticism being directed toward your fellow Floridian, Pam Bondi. I mean, is that fair? Is it warranted?
I think that people want transparency, and
right.
obviously, don't bully the woman, but I think it's okay to make your voices heard.
Sunlight's the best disinfectant.
100%.
It's a joy to meet you in person. I know how busy you are, and we've had to grab you, and you were on the phone.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Charlie didn't interrupt us, so you're all set.
Well, he's not here yet. So.
Yeah, if he gets here, thank you, Congresswoman.
Thank you.
Great seeing you. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna joining us here on the Mike Gallagher Show. Very busy day. Lots going on. Lots of breaking news. Let's get your calls. I want to talk to you and find out if you believe that the glass is half full, is the glass half empty. Are you disappointed in the Epstein story? Is that something that bothers you? Lindsay's in Pennsylvania, or Lindley is in Pennsylvania. Hey, Lindley, welcome to Tampa. You're on the Mike Gallagher Show. Hello.
Good morning, Mike. I'm
Hi,
a
Lindley.
Vietnam veteran from Pennsylvania.
God bless you.
I was listening to your show. I think this thing with the shooting of Trump and Butler,
Yes, sir.
it was a crazy, mixed-up kid, and they ought to just live with that and move on. And as far as Epstein goes, I think that anybody that was involved in politics with him, that was involved with him, ought to be jailed.
Gotcha. Thanks, Lindley. Good to hear from you. 800-655-MIKE. Let's see. Is it Norm in New York, I guess? Hey, Norm. Norm, how are you?
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Good, Mike. Thank you. Thank you for everything you do.
Thank you. What do you think?
I got to tell you, the Epstein thing, it doesn't matter to me if you find out who's involved in it. You're never going to convict these people. It's the same old, same old.
Right, but that must frustrate you. It sounds like you wish it wasn't so.
Well, I wish it wasn't so, but I mean, it's like beating a dead horse.
Right.
For instance, Congress people. How do these Congress people become millionaires? We never do anything about it.
I know.
Nobody votes them out, and nobody cares if these people were in debt and are now multimillionaires.
I know. I
support Trump 100%. Let him do what he has to do, and let's move on.
And I'm glad you said that, Norm, because ultimately people are upset about the Epstein thing. I follow Trump's lead on a lot of this stuff. And if it's not a priority in terms of wallowing in it, look, we got bigger fish to fry. There's a lot of people who make the argument there's a lot more important things to worry about than the Epstein files. On the other hand, I love what Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna said. Transparency is everything. We need to know the truth about all this stuff, and that's what people expect, and they don't want to be let down.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.